my current issues with this current administration, the Biden administration, is that they don't pull through like our previous administration, the Trump administration. These politicians, I would say, aren't doing their jobs right. We have a president right now who closed down our borders. This past administration was working towards building the southern border, as well as ICE. We were seeing more busts of drug busts, and most importantly, child trafficking busts. We've always heard the conspiracy that Joe Biden is a child molester. I mean, look at his videos and we see him sniffing gals' hairs, little girls' hairs. He sniffs his granddaughter's hair like it's the most beautiful, luxurious thing in the world. He'll grab the little girls first and foremost and bring them over to him. In all his photos and all interactions with little girls. And they want to say that's misinformation, that's fake news, but watch him. Look at the man. Proof is in the pudding when you look at him and what he does. Secondly, now, within this administration, current administration, he closes down the border. And we hear nothing about drug busts coming across the border, or especially child trafficking coming along the border. Which raises the question of, is this man really that way? But nobody wants to question that. Nobody wants to ask that. Nobody wants to connect the dots. Then we have the VP, Kamala, who, well, quite frankly, is a horrible woman. And people, as soon as I say that now, if the media heard this, they'd call me a racist. They'd call me all these horrible things because that's what they do. If they heard it, they wouldn't see somebody as, just some lowly guy. They'd say this racist cracker. They wouldn't say this, regular everyday guy who's making YouTube videos saying what he wants to say because it's free speech and he has the right to say it. They'd call me a racist, they'd call me a horrible person, they'd say all of these horrible things about me because what I'm saying is a threat to them. Because what I'm saying is something that if people started thinking and believing and connecting the dots, it would turn out to be true. For fuck's sake. This woman won't even go down, this vice president I'll address her as. She won't even go down to the southern border and address the southern border crisis, where we have children sitting in horrible cages, horrible living conditions, and they want to say they're taking care of them. These cages that were built during the Obama administration. They want to use these and say everything's okay. Well, this same woman won't even salute our troops or pay any mind to our troops. She'll just walk up the fucking plane after everything and just fuck everybody else. She doesn't care about America. She cares about her agenda. If this administration actually cared about America, they'd actually address Americans. They'd actually do something, but they're trying to change based upon their own agenda, based upon what they wanted. They're wanting to sell a shit ton of fear. Hell, look at global warming now. I say, since we're moving into the ice age, not an ice age I would say, eventually, but we're moving into the age of Aquarius right now. We're in it. We're having a lot of progression. Notice how, yes, the ice caps are melting. Things like that, but we're going into the age of water. We're going back when Atlantis was around. You see, it was as a city built upon ice. Melted down in the water. I mean, a civilization living upon water. You see, you have to connect the dots. If CNN, there are people who are willing to say that fear sells, and they sold all that fear during the Trump administration to get rid of Trump, and now their main focus is going to be climate change. it makes a man wonder that is climate change as big of a thing as they want, because as they want to address it as. Because we look at what happened in the Trump administration, and Trump was making a bunch of changes, good changes. The only changes that Biden makes as soon as he comes in are things for for transgenders, when he promised the African American everything, and he doesn't deliver anything for the African American. Of course, the soul that incarnated to play the role as the African American. You know, for anybody that's watching this or wants to watch this and say, "You're racist," because they're misinformed. The African American is a soul incarnated into this world as African descent in America. See, every soul is an infinite being of divine light, love at its purest essence. So when you think that I'm a racist, keep in mind that we're souls incarnated. Keep in mind that we are all one with nature. We are all coming from the same source. If we died today, back in the source, non-physical. You know, if somebody commits suicide, they're going to be like, damn, why did I do that, when they're coming out? I don't believe in this transgender bullshit, because one soul didn't click male, and then all of a sudden later on it's like, oh, whoops, I'm sorry, I meant to click female. No, you clicked male for a reason, and it's not because you're supposed to overcome and say you're a woman. No, you're saying you're a woman because you're confused, because the divine feminine is rising up to match with the divine masculine as we're moving into the age of Aquarius that we're in now, in these powers coming in. The divine feminine is getting stronger. So to counteract that, the media, those in power, the politician wants to say, you know, well, it's really this sex change thing, you know, it's sex, people are, here's the facts that are just complete bullshit. And they have all of their little scientists that they paid under the pocket. Maybe they have them blackmailed and they have to do everything. Looks like Fauci's that way. You see how nervous he is up there. And they want to create this bullshit about transgenders. Which is just a mental manipulation to confuse, because we have, I do like to say that the millennial generation is stupid. However, I want to really say that they're so fucking smart, but they've been dumbed down. They don't ask questions. They don't question these people. They just hear free schooling, free healthcare, and they're like, oh my God, you're a hero. Oh my God. And they cry because they're so emotionally imbalanced. For goodness sakes, they've been fed a bunch of bullshit. And these kids grew up during the, I would say, the Obama administration. So, growing up during that time, they probably heard about change nonstop. Change. I'm going to promise you change in the world when, free healthcare for everybody. Obamacare, which was made last minute, thrown together and didn't do shit for anybody with disabilities. It didn't do shit for me. I have epilepsy. And I know, boo-hoo, cry me a river, well, it's just the fact of it. If it's boo-hoo, cry me a river for me, boo-hoo for you when you have a bunch of school loans that you can't get rid of. It's what, I spent 8 years in college, and I got shit tons of debt too. But I'm not sitting here crying, holding some stick or burning down buildings saying that I need to have loan forgiveness. Free education. With free education comes a price. And that is a fact. Notice how they're trying to change education. They're trying to make it anti-American. It's true. Shit tons of universities are going towards a liberal-based action, liberal-based mentality. I've had teachers that are like the most popular people in the world because they're funny, they make fun of, Republicans and such like that. They have their own mindset, and they're funny, they're funny people. However, the thing is that students are going to think, he's right because he's my teacher and he's informed and all of that. No, your teacher's a regular human being that has just a regular thought process of another human being, yet I would say that he understands, or she understands, the liberal mindset, the Democrat mindset. And with this liberal mentality that's forced upon the people are going to think everything's evil, and if not, they're going to throw a fit. Anything that's evil against Democrat or liberal mentality or actions or thought process, theory, anything like that is either a conspiracy theory, an act of racism, or just something that you have to go and get a gang of 5 people and beat the shit out of somebody. That's how people are today, Antifa's a fucking gang of, I'd say, domestic terrorist group, Antifa's become such, and people don't want to say it. They want to say, and all Antifa really is just a bunch of dysfunctional kids, dysfunctional teenagers that were probably neglected inside a school and by their parents, and they have some fucked up problems in their head, so they want to get it out, and that's how they do it, by beating people, beating old people. Hell, even Black Lives Matter people just want to get their frustration out and beat the shit out of people, gang up on them, and leave them dead in the fucking street. Like, for instance, an old Asian man just walking down the street, and you got a gang of Black Lives Matter supporters just beating the shit out of him. It's wrong. If you don't say it's wrong and you don't believe it's wrong, well, there's something wrong with you. You don't go beating up an old man just to get your frustrations out. You don't just go beat some person about race with the fucking stick. A baseball bat or something, saying, you're this way because of your skin color. No, that's ignorant. That's the past. And they want us to live in a past. They want people to stay in that mentality of, slave mentality, that everybody's suffering, that only a specific type of person is suffering, because those who fit in the category of minority, is how they like to say it, the minority, because they want everybody to feel minor, inferior, to somebody they call superior, because of the old mundane thought process of superiority over one because of race, one over another, though we are all souls incarnated into this world, equal. Every human being is a soul here to serve a purpose within their community, the center stage, if you will, of their lifetime. And some go an entire lifetime unfulfilled until they pass back into non-physical, and they have to go and live another lifetime to learn these lessons that they are meant to in order for their soul to progress, to go on to the next step upon Jacob's ladder. It's a hot day. Global warming, the sun's too hot, I'm sweating, I'm gonna die. No. Global warming's bullshit. Our Earth is alive and doing what it's supposed to do. We cannot affect the Earth in such a way. Before the Earth goes, we're gonna have to go. Because the Earth is gonna still be here. If we destroy ourselves, the planet's gonna recycle itself. So we're going to destroy ourselves before we destroy this world, before we destroy this ozone. we're destroying ourselves. We need to get rid of this administration. We need to return to, I would say, the highest level of the republic. And people are like, no, that's political. No. What I mean is what our country is truly built off of. Yet, we, as we've seen before, we learned from those how to be and how not to be. Let's learn and live as freedom. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Let us live as the beings created to change this world for a free world. Republic of the United States is a beautiful, true keeper of democracy. Just because Democrats Party has demo in it, Democrat, whatever, doesn't mean that it is for democracy. I mean, they're based with their heritage, I would say, from the Confederates. And we all know how bad the Confederacy was in their time and what they stood for. Democrats are very manipulative in the sense that they'll be extremely racist and say somebody else is racist. Those that accuse them of it, they're the racists. They're very childish. That's the politician for you. That is the politician. These are public, not the businessman. We're talking about the politicians. They're very manipulative. They say somebody else is doing something and that somebody else is this, yet they're the ones that are doing it and they're the ones that are this. And that's just how it is. That's the politician. So I leave this with you. Question what you have been told. Question what the politician tells you all the time. Not the businessman. No, not the businessman that they forced out of office. No. Question the politician. The politician that you have said countless times that you hate, that hold you down. It's not the businessman that held you down. It's the politician that holds you down. And if it wasn't, you'd feel a lot better and feel a lot different. And they'll blame it on the businessman who made a bunch of orders and a bunch of laws, put towards laws that actually bettered America, bettered Americans. We can't save everybody in this world. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. And don't bitch about taxes if you're letting everybody into this country for free. See, you gotta understand it like this. If you let a family into your house and you tell them you don't have to pay rent, and they start eating all your food and all of your bills start going up, don't bitch about it. Don't bitch about them bills that you gotta pay. Don't bitch about the water. Don't bitch about the electricity. Just shut up, because you're the one that let them in. Are you going to be the one that has power enough within yourself to say, get out of my house? You aren't providing, so leave? If so, you should have the balls enough, I would say the power enough within, to rise up and say, get those who are illegally here out of the country, because I don't want to pay higher taxes, and I don't want my rights being lowered because of people wanting to come in and have those rights illegally. The American is brought down, and the value of our rights are brought down when we start letting everybody else in. Your household means nothing when others start trashing it. drug trafficking, child trafficking. Unless you think that's a good thing being brought into here, that's wrong. Alright, soul. You are loved, and you are love in its purest essence. Remember that. Keep your head up high, and play the role that you were meant to play. That's why you're here. You're important. Stay blessed.